What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. And guys, we actually got 0 picks wrong and got 22 right, which is a 100% win rate. Yes, you heard that right, 100% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 100% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $900 just yesterday. Another member who won $510 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Karl-Anthony. So this one is a great one because this one is for Karl-Anthony, points, rebounds, and assists for 19.5, and this one actually is for less. Now look at Karl-Anthony, we've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Toronto Raptors. Now when we look at the Toronto Raptors, we see that they rank 24th when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, moving on into assists allowed, we do see that the Raptors rank 11th, and then when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also do see the Raptors rank 16th. So they rank pretty average in all 3 categories. However, we do like the under for this situation for someone like Karl-Anthony due to the fact that Toronto do a really good job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. On top of this, when we also look at Karl-Anthony, he doesn't have that high of a usage rate in all 3 of the departments combined. We have seen him go on the over, significantly in a most recent game against Memphis. That was a little bit of an outlier game. He was able to take advantage of it, but we do believe when we see him more on a consistency level, we actually see him more likely go on the under. And that's why his average over the last 5 is 17.2, which is significantly below this line. So he did have an outlier game. It's pushed this line a little bit too high to our liking, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under here. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for someone like Karl-Anthony. When we look at the matchup between Orlando and Toronto, we actually see Toronto slowing down and actually coming down to Orlando's pace. So we may see a similar or even less volume than we usually see from Karl-Anthony overall, which should help to lead him on the under as well for this line. So for that reason, all signs really do point towards the under for this one. So definitely keep an eye out for Karl-Anthony in this one. So 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about another great player, and that is Austin Reeves. Now, Austin Reeves has been absolutely bowling out for the LA Lakers, but we have this one for 20.5 points, and this one is for less. Now, when we look at someone like Austin Reeves, we've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, when we look at the New Orleans Pelicans, we do see that when it comes to points allowed, we see that the Pelicans do rank 26. So the Pelicans rank, pretty low in those in that category. However, the reason why we still like the under for this situation here is due to the fact that when we look at someone like Austin Reeves, we are liking the under due to the fact that New Orleans Pelicans do a really good job at restricting points to the guard position. Now, Austin Reeves has been able to go on the over, 3 out of the last 5, but going only on the under in 2 out of the last 5. But we think on a per position basis, that's what's going to lead to this one going on the under for this one. Now, his average over the last 5 is 20.8, so slightly above this line. So we are going a little bit against the grain here, but we think per position is such an important thing when it comes to these picks that when we look on a per position basis, we think that Pelicans doing a really good job against guards is definitely going to affect Austin Reeves. And for that, we are sticking to the under for a situation like this. So So, you know, when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So for that reason, we are sticking to what the bookies are saying in that, you know, essence. So Austin Reeves, 20.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Chris Paul. So Chris Paul, another fantastic player, and this one is actually for points and rebounds. So this one is actually a combo one for actually 12.5, and this one actually is for less. Now we look at someone like Chris Paul over the last 5 games. We actually have seen him go on the under in 5 out of the last 5 games. They do face off against the Brooklyn Nets. Now we look at the Brooklyn Nets. Although Brooklyn Nets haven't had the greatest season, they do actually rank really well. They rank 8th when it comes to points allowed, and on top of that, moving on into rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Brooklyn Nets do rank 6th. So when it comes to that, I definitely do very much like, you know, the under for this situation due to the fact that Brooklyn Nets rank very high. We definitely see someone like Chris Paul going on the under due to the fact that when we look at someone like CP3, you know, we have seen his usage rate definitely fall quite a bit ever since Victor Wembanyama has been injured. So we actually have seen his usage rate decrease, and especially with the addition to De'Aaron Fox, it's definitely hurt Chris Paul's actual usage rate out there. So we definitely see him going on the under in this situation here. When it comes to someone like CP3, a big reason why we also do like the under is that his average over the last 5 is 8.8, and Brooklyn Nets also with the game or matchup against Spurs, we are expecting a slower pace game. If it is continuing to be a very slow paced game, we may not see the same amount of volume that we usually tend to see from CP3 and also for both of these teams. And for that reason, a slower paced games means to less volume for someone like Chris Paul, which is why we do like the under for this situation here. So definitely keep an eye out for the under for someone like CP3. This one is just kind of a no-brainer to us. When you really look at all the sides, it really all points towards the under. So for that reason, Chris Paul, 12.5 points and rebs for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, when it comes to Karl-Anthony Towns, great player. This one is for 13.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now we look at Karl-Anthony Towns. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against the Golden State Warriors. Now when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, we actually do see that the Golden State Warriors rank when it comes to rebounds allowed. They do rank 20th. So when it comes to this one, we do very much like the under. Now, although Warriors do rank a little bit lower, we do like the under due to the fact that Golden State Warriors do a really good job at actually restricting rebounds to the big man position. We definitely have seen this time and time again. When it comes to Cat has done a fantastic job, but when it comes to certain matchups where certain teams do a great job against big men, we tend to see Karl-Anthony Towns struggle. His average over the last 5 is 13.2, so slightly behind his line, or below his line in that case, and we definitely see that being a big thing coming into this matchup. He's had a couple of games going on the over, but it was against easier teams when it comes to the rebounding sector, so he was able to take advantage of that. But you always got to say, and what I always say is matchups. That's what's most important, and with a matchup like this, we are more likely to see him go on the under in a situation like this. So definitely keep an eye out for his line. So Karl-Anthony Towns, 13.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about OG Anunoby. So OG Anunoby, great player, and this one is actually for 2.5 assists, and this one is for less. Now we look at OG Anunoby. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than the Golden State Warriors. Now we look at the Golden State Warriors. Like we mentioned before, you know, it is going to be a very exciting game, but the Golden State Warriors do rank 10th when it comes to assists allowed. So Warriors do a really good job at actually restricting assists, and that's a no-brainer reason for us on why we do like the under for this situation here. OG Anunoby as well tends to play that small forward position, and Warriors do a great job at actually restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the small forward position as well, and that is due to the fact that Jimmy Butler is now a great addition to this team. But even if Jimmy Butler is not on the floor, we have seen Warriors throughout the whole season just do a great job against small forwards, so we definitely see that being the case coming into this matchup. Now OG is coming off a pretty big game on the assist department, having 5 assists. We think that, you know, these outlier games. It's pushed this line a little bit too high, and now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under, especially against a team that does great at restricting assists like the Golden State Warriors. So For that reason, we are sticking to the under for a situation like this, and we definitely see him going in the under because when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So OG Anunoby, 2.5 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett, this one is for 3-pointers for 1.5, and this one is for less. Now look at RJ Barrett. We've actually seen him go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, and they do face off against none other than Orlando Magic. So it is going to be a very exciting game, but when we look at Orlando Magic, when it comes to 3-point percentage allowed, we actually see Orlando Magic ranked 24th. When it comes to 3-point attempts allowed, they do rank 1st, and when it comes to 3 points made allowed, they do rank 1st. So this one kind of just sounds like a no-brainer. Orlando do a very, very good job and the best in the league when it comes to restricting 3-pointers, and that's why we do like the under for someone like RJ Barrett coming into this matchup. RJ Barrett, although he does have a decent usage rate in the 3-ball, we definitely have seen his usage rate pretty much remain pretty inconsistent. He's more likely gone on the under over the last 5, and when we look at his average over the last 5, yes, it is 1.6, but it is due to some outlier games, especially that one against Phoenix. But overall, especially with the matchup against Orlando, who are going to slow down the pace for a team like Toronto, RJ Barrett may not get the same amount of looks and also the same amount of volume that he usually does see from that 3-ball department. So for that reason, we are liking the under for a situation like this. So definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. So RJ Barrett, 1.5 3 points made for less, I think is a great pick.